Opal, but no, he has Piston Sledge, Mortar Pod, Flare Husk, and Invisible Stalker.
So basically it's pure steel aggro.
Right, pure steel Invisible Stalker aggro, which is pretty cool. Expect the Esper control deck to have a lot of problems with that Invisible Stalker. He has 4 Day of Judgments, but that is it.
Are both of these players undefeated? Both of these players are 4-0. Okay, so one of the things I think is going to be a really huge boon for Matt, Elish Norn is an end boss in this matchup.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be really good.
That's game over.
Yeah.
If that lands, that's game over.
His mana, I think, actually... I think it looks like the mana is going to be a little haphazard in the early turns.
Right.
Which means that those are the turns where Benjamin Isgar is going to be at his strongest. We'll have to see what happens. We got turn 1, 0 drop, Glint Hawk, 0 drop. That's a Mox Opal.
It is. So, a turn 1 Isumaru with flying for Ben Isgar. Matt just plays a tap land. Says go.
In for 2.
And we'll see what Ben has in store for us here. Maybe a little Paladin action. Nope, just a Mortar Pod. So it looks like the Paladin is missing this game, but he's still going to try and be the aggressor with that Piston Sledge ready to go.
Turn 2. He's got all the colors of mana available at his fingertips for his deck.
Yep, he's sitting on a Think Twice, at the very least for 2. Interesting thing, only a couple mana leak in Matt's deck. 2 mana leak. 3 dissipate though. So 5 counters total, only 2 of them cost 2. So Ben attacks for 2 more, plays a Flare Husk. Looks like he didn't find his 3rd mana for the Piston Sledge, but he'll be guaranteed to have it next turn as he has that Mox Opal online now. So Mortar Pod, main phase, shoots Matt for 1, and then re-equips to the Flare Husk token. Okay. Matt responds with end of turn Think Twice, drawing a Doomblade, and untaps for his 3rd turn. With a full grip of spells. I don't see double white quite yet, though, for that Day of Judgment. He's going to need to find that. Pristine Talisman.
That card is one of the most powerful weapons in a control player's arsenal. You might not be able to completely nullify something immediately, but you often half nullify it or outright nullify it. And then once you gain control, you pull yourself into a position where your opponent's work is undone.
Right. It seems like such a marginal card because you have such better things to compare it to, like Coalition Relic, but it's the life gain that really pushes it over the top, of course. So Piston Sledge, the Glint Hawk picks up a sledge and hits Matt for a healthy 6 damage.
He's looking for a 2nd white here.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised he didn't flash back that Think Twice, searching for it. But
I like laying the Pristine Talisman more than thinking twice, actually. Because he can't do both.
Right. And this turn, it definitely gives him a lot more options. He'll be able to Doomblade that Glint Hawk at the very least.
Gains a life. Looks like he's gonna spend 3. I'm guessing he's gonna Alchemy. Main phase.
Looks like it, yeah.
Alchemy for
searching for land, yeah.
Almost certainly looking for a good land for what he wants.
Isolated Chapel does not come into play on tap though. So it looks like he has the choice of Island or Chapel.
It's a hard one actually, because the Doomblade does a lot of work here.
Right. That's gonna save 5 life. I think he has to go for the Island here.
Maybe he takes this hit, gets the Chapel, and then because does he die if he doesn't?
Well, he's at 11, and next turn it looks like he'll be taking 1 plus 5. Yeah, only 6 damage, dropping him to 5. The Mortar Pod will drop him to 4. Yeah, that's.
So that means he'll take the Chapel probably, lays the Chapel from wherever, and then he'll have access to Day, and then if he has another land, be able to go Day and Doomblade.
Right. But Ben though has 1 turn to do whatever he wants to Matt. It was tapped low. So Ben attacks for 6, dropping Matt to 5. Now looks like maybe equips. And that's a smart play because he knows that Glint Hawk is probably not long for this world.
Untaps. And you said you saw the Day of Judgment in his hand, correct?
I believe he has a Day of Judgment, yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to have to be Gideon, which I saw in his hand, I'm pretty sure.
It looks like he's holding Dissipate.
Okay, so Dissipate, Plains, Day of Judgment, Gideon. I think I'm not... Doomblade, and...
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell the rest. We'll have to wait a moment.
Ben only has a Mortar Pod and one unknown card, I believe, so he's pretty much out of gas at this point. He has to hope that these two creatures can do the trick.
1, 2, 3, 4. Day of Judgment and a Plains, I think, is going to be the play.
Yep. And he takes one, basically negating the Pristine Talisman. So Matt will stay at 5 this turn, but he'll have a land and Doomblade mana up with Gideon at the ready for the next.
There's the Plains. Go.
And there you see Ben. Draws an Invisible Stalker.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's casting the Pure Steel Paladin, though. Isn't that what that is?
Yeah, that's a Paladin.
He Doomblades in response. An Invisible Stalker hits the table.
And it has begun, the race.
Okay, Matt is going to have to lay that Gideon or get another day now.
Ooh, Timely is very good. Buys him...
Timely is not very good now.
Buys him a turn at the very least.
Timely will be good after he does something else first. Gideon? Gain a life, go to 6, lay a Gideon, lay a Drowned Catacombs, is that? There's the Gideon.
Yep, and unfortunately
That's a Dark Slick.
Unfortunately for Ben, he cannot get that Invisible Stalker up to 8. Unless he has another... Now he won't be able to get that up to 8.
He can get it up pretty high, but just not quite.
Yeah.
I think that was another Mox that he drew, but I'm not sure.
Which is fine, because that's just fodder for that Piston Sledge. So equips the Piston Sledge, and probably moving the Flare Husk over as well, to be able to do 10 to Gideon over 2 turns. So Gideon gets knocked to 3, and yep,
there's the Mox replaces itself.
And
he equips the Mortar Pod.
And that is a scary Stalker.
Now Matt gets to untap in a very commanding position. The Timely actually becomes much more reasonable now, because now that he's got out a Gideon, he's not going to be dying just yet.
Yeah.
Dissipate in hand.
Gideon is dead this next turn.
And Did he say just go? Oh, what is he? Maybe he's flashing something back.
Sitting on his alchemy, yeah.
So he got 7 mana?
He really needs to find a Day of Judgment.
That's fair. Goodbye, Gideon.
He does play 4, though, so his odds are pretty decent at hitting one on his alchemy.
And there's a Pure Steel, which he dissipates, which means he can't alchemy.
Not sure that I like that.
I also like tapping Pristine Talisman whenever I cast a spell, but that's okay.
He doesn't anyway.
Think twice in his yard, I believe.
Well, that's good. That'll give him something to do. His hand right now is Timely Dissipate. So, yeah, he gains 1, flashes back the Think Twice.
I couldn't tell what it was. It looked white to me, though.
Untaps?
Alishnorn.
Oh, man.
Does that kill?
That does not kill that, actually.
Really?
It'll have
the
two,
Mortar Pod.
2 toughness.
The Mortar Pod keeps it alive.
Yeah, so Flare Husk, Mortar Pod, Piston Sledge, and Invisible Stalker all grant 1 toughness, so it'll be a 3/2. Wow.
If I'm mad, I'm pretty sure I cast the Elishnorn.
Yeah, I think you have to at this point. You're at 7. This attack's going to bring you with the Pristine to 3 life.
Timely, I have no problem with him casting Timely. I would like him to start using his Pristine Talisman to gain life when he casts spells initially, though.
Right. Definitely the better way to do it.
Decreases the chances of you forgetting.
Right.
I mean, you might not forget 99% of the time, but...
That one time.
Yeah, that can matter.
I've lost games where I have just forgotten 1 life.
Yeah. We got 3 1/1 soldiers.
Yep. And it looks like Ben's sitting on that. That might be 2 Mortar Pods.
Now the thing is, by playing this, he can lay an Elsinore next turn and then swing in for 6.
Right.
So that's good.
9.
9, my bad.
Yeah.
There are 3 soldiers, not 2 soldiers. He can't chump block. He doesn't need to chump block.
Nope.
He does take the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage.
Yep, dropping him to 8. Pristine should bring him up to 9.
Is that a Snapcaster?
I think it is.
That means he has access to Snappy Day.
Oh, yeah. So I can only imagine he'll play Elishnorn here. Yeah, there
Going
it
for
is.
the beatdown.
Boom. That's not good for Ben Isgar.
Oh, Snappy Day. What do we have there? We've got a dispatch to take care of Elishnorn.
Wow. Very nice. So Elishnorn actually kills 0 things and does 0 extra damage.
Did spend 7 mana on it.
Yeah, most harmless Elishnorn ever.
5, knocking him to 5, I believe.
Yep, and yet another mortar pod.
Virtual 3. He's doing some counting. He says go. I think it's going to be a Snappy Day.
Yeah.
I think you can't mess around. I think you just got to respect that Invisible Stalker is a monster.
Yeah, that's the only option Matt has left at this point.
But he has another Timely in his hand. He can stay alive that way and try to... But, like, the Timely is just +6 life.
Right.
I think he does the attack for 3. Snappy Day. Just get that Stalker off the board.
So Ben will take it down to 14 life.
Don't get greedy here, Matt.
And, yeah, I don't see any reason to, especially since something like some sort of equipment might just kill him, like a Sword of War and Peace.
I don't think he's doing it.
Wow.
Oh, he's just casting Timely for 6 life.
He does have a Dissipate in his hand, so I guess I can understand where he's coming from. I still don't think it's right.
I don't think it's... I can't understand where he's coming from, because what this basically means is he's not even casting a Time Walk. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
His opponent's going to remove that damage for the most part in one swing, and he's going to be under the same position he was a moment ago.
Right. Those tokens are not going to do enough to really justify this, in my mind.
But he didn't get any tokens.
He didn't even get any tokens.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, what? I don't understand that. Maybe we're wrong about that being a Snapcaster.
It might not be a Snap. There's a Jace in his hand, a big Jace.
Big Jace.
And a Dissipate. And I think a Snapcaster is what he's got now.
Well, that's definitely a Snapcaster if it wasn't before.
Attacks for 3. It might not have been before. The way he just played that Snapcaster to the front of his hand there, I don't think that he seemed so forceful with it. I think that it wasn't one before, actually.
Right.
Snappy Day. Or is he going to Timely again? Tell me.
Oh, no.
Please cast Day of
Anything but
Judgment.
that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And Ben will deal him 2. 1 to you.
Blink.
And...
Thinking about it.
To do it or not?
Okay,
okay. 1 to you. We'll take the free point of damage there.
Go.
And Ben has a turn. Oh, Invisible Stalker.
No? Or is it?
I thought that's...
Etched Oracle. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Etched Champion.
The Etched Champion comes out. And that's going to be tough for Matt to deal with. Ben has a lot of threats that are really hard for Matt's deck to beat.
Day. Okay, so we're going to see a Timely again, I believe.
Yeah, it seems so. And Glenn Jones is actually telling us that this is his deck. He wants the world to know that he has designed this deck.
He designed this Esper control deck?
No, this Pure Steel Paladin aggressive deck.
Gotcha.
This sort of mishmash aggro deck here.
I think the play for Matt here, Matt is going to, if I were him, I would cast my big Jace, I would draw a card, and then I would Timely.
Right, it looks like that's exactly the line he's taking.
Big Jace, draw a card, mill myself for 1.
Because that could be important.
Don't mill him. No, mill yourself. Oh, gosh. It's a resource. It's a resource.
It's a victory condition.
Does not cast Timely. He could just die.
He has a... Isn't he just dead? Yeah, equips Piston Sledge. Attack for 6. Equip Mortar Pod.
We might have his life wrong. It's
Perhaps.
possible.
Okay.
There was a Timely in his hand.
Wow. All right, so Pure Steel Paladin takes game 1, a long, drawn-out game 1. I didn't think that Ben was going to win that game for most of it.
I also did not think that Ben was going to win this game for most of it.
For Ben.
Yeah. And supposedly the blue-white pure steel deck has a bad matchup against Desperate Control, but after watching that game, I'm not sure if I can believe it.
Well, you know, I absolutely can believe it. Largely because I think if we had seen a couple of different turns with the way that Matt, let's say, rallied his defenses,
Right.
I think we would have seen him at a much higher life total and with a greater degree of
Precision.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he needed to go with Timely into Elishnorn,
Right.
like at the times that he did. And
I'm pretty sure the turn that he played the timely reinforcements holding up Snapcaster Mage, he just should have flashed back the Forbidden Alchemy. Searching for a Dave Judgment.
Just exactly. Do the Forbidden Alchemy, spend the 7 mana, the Dissipate you don't need to do.
Right.
Like,
Anything he casts that you're just going to Dave Judgment it away anyway. But anyways, looking at sideboards.
okay.
For-
Let's talk about this Pure Steel deck. What is it going to do?
Well, he has 2 Oblivion Ring, 2 Indomitable Archangel, 4 Mirren Crusader, 3 Timely, 4 Glinthawk Idol. So I have to imagine we'll see the Glinthawk Idol.
Glinthawk Idol, definitely. So one of the things that's interesting there, Indomitable Archangel, I love Indomitable Archangel. I think Indomitable Archangel is awesome. And I wonder if the whole point of the Archangel is to use the Shroud ability, or if the whole point of the Archangel is to have a 4/4 beater, or if it's mixed. Maybe Glenn Jones could tell us if the Archangel is for the big body or if it's for the ability.
For the Wolfram matchup, for its ability. Like
Wow.
its ancient grudge.
For the
Apparently
Wolfram
it's an
matchup.
Ancient Grudge answer. I like
Wow.
that a lot. That's cool.
I do. Nothing in Wolf Run really kills that except a Metal Crafted Galvanic Blast, which probably isn't going to happen, or a Devil's Play.
Devil's
Which-
Play.
Yeah. So probably won't see that one. Probably just Glinthawk Idol, maybe Oblivion Ring.
I don't mind Oblivion Ring necessarily.
Probably a little more versatile than Dispatch.
I mean, the thing about an Oblivion Ring, he's seen from his opponent 2 different Planeswalkers. He does not know that those are the only Planeswalkers his opponent is playing. And so it's unusual for you to think, oh, I don't have that many targets. I mean, when
Right.
you actually have seen 2 Planeswalkers.
Pristine Talisman as well
Yeah.
is not bad to hit.
Yeah, so I think he's bringing it in. I actually don't know if it's accurate as an answer to what his opponent happens to be playing,
Right.
but I think it's as what he saw. I would bring it in with if I saw what he saw.
I agree. I think he might be taking out Vault Scourge here, as well as some of the equipment that is just less effective, like
Mortar Pod is a little bit weaker.
Right.
I think on the other side, his opponent, if he plays this right, should be bringing in Timely, Doomblade, Divine Offering, Oblivion Ring, Ratchet Bomb, maybe even Phantasmal Image, just as like bringing your own Pure Steel Paladin to the party as a blocker.
Right.
You've got a lot of stuff that's slow. The Phantasmal Image might not be, you might not have room for it after you take out your other cards, but Mana Leak is just not exciting in this matchup. You don't want to be saving your mana for that. Forbidden Alchemy is a little slow. Think Twice is worse, I think, than Alchemy, actually.
Yeah, me too.
It's just 5 mana for 2 cards.
Alchemy especially, you really want to be digging to that Day of Judgment or that
Yeah.
Timely Reinforcements or whatever it is that you need.
Dissipates.
Dissipate's bad,
I could
yeah.
see, at most, if he cut mana or counterspells, I could see him keeping 1 Dissipate in his deck just for a super late game counterspell against some card. But
Just to Alchemy for?
yeah, you
I
know,
could see that.
But like, that's the most I would want. I would probably take all 5 out.
Yeah, I would too. Usually counterspells are the first to go when you're playing against
Yeah.
any type of aggressive deck. And this deck doesn't even have Tempered Steel in it, so he doesn't even need to counter anything
Yeah.
in particular.
So the cards we said, Timely, Doomblade, Oblivion Ring, Divine Offering, Ratchet Bomb, that's 5. He can go there right for the 5 counterspells.
Right. That's
And
a
I
pretty
think-
easy switch.
I think actually the images aren't bad. They can come in and they can do an early trade with a lot of things.
No, I definitely like the image over Think Twice. I
Yeah,
agree with you there.
Think Twice is just not exciting when you are staring down a clock.
Right.
Think Twice is at its best when you're staring down a Dissipate from your opponent and no creatures.
Yes. When you want to hit every land drop.
I shouldn't say a Dissipate. Let's make it a Mana Leak.
Sure. That's better. That's better for sure.
Actually, no. Let's make it a Dissipate because you're ecstatic. You're ecstatic if they use their Dissipate on your Think Twice.
Yeah, that's just
You're like,
fine.
I just thought seized you.
Thank you. Didn't even have to pay 2 life.
Back and forth on that opinion for a second there.
Yeah. So it looks like the players have their openers for game 2. Matt, of course, will be on the play with his Esper Control deck. And I see a nice mix of lands and spells. He looks like he's keeping. And
Okay.
Ben with no 1-drop.
I think I see a Dissipate in Matt's hand.
Wow, I don't like that. And a Mana Leak.
I don't think he understands how the matchup here works. Now, you better Mana Leak that or else.
That might be a negate,
Okay, if it's a negate...
which is even worse than Mana Leak, I think. So now he has Dissipate up, but that's not going to do him much good because, yeah. Okay,
That was a Mana Leak.
negate the Silver Inlaid Dagger.
Is that a negate?
I think it's a negate.
Okay.
Yeah.
The alternate art cards I'm not particularly good at identifying.
No, nor me.
Glinthawk Idol from the sideboard for Ben Isgar. Fourth turn, say go.
Matt drawing a Snapcaster, so he can flashback that negate if he wants to. And he certainly will on this Piston Sledge. Yep. Get your sledge. And Ben will attack for 1 here and ship it back. In Ben's hand, I see a Stalker, a Glinthawk, and I can't even tell what the others are.
In for 2 with Snapcaster Mage.
I think that is a Pure Steel Paladin. So if he thinks the coast is clear...
There's a Sledge, Dissipated.
Wow. So he didn't decide how any counters, it looks like. He's already cast 2, and he's cast 1 from the sideboard. So maybe Matt knows something we don't. But I like taking out counters.
I do too. I do too. You know, Doomblade is like a counterspell, but you can cast it turns after the creature was cast.
Exactly. And you know, I can understand his logic for keeping in Mana Leak on the play because it deals with the Invisible Stalker. But he... Yeah, but we didn't even see a Mana Leak yet.
Is that going to be a Glinthawk, the real kind?
Ooh.
Makes his Inky into a creature, returns it, says go. Ben makes some kitties.
Wow. So 3. How do you feel about the way Ben's playing this matchup? Do you think he's being too aggressive with sort of throwing his creatures out there? Or do you think he can't really afford to play around Day of Judgment?
I think he's being very reasonable here. Like, he only has 2 creatures that are vulnerable to a day with how he's played.
Right.
So, that's fine.
Yeah, I think so too, especially with a backup Invisible Stalker in his hand.
In for 8.
Trades for a cat. And I see a Pure Steel Paladin peeking out there. We'll see if he can leverage that this game. He's a little under the gun now. He's losing this race.
Paladin. Inky. Vault Scourge.
Paying 2.
Attack for 2 in the air. I believe that it taps. There we go.
Usually Glinthawk Idol taps to attack.
In for 6.
So Matt's on the beatdown plan, just trading away his Pure Steel Paladin. He'll
Gain a life, lose 2 life,
Yep.
lose of 1.
So Matt 11, Ben 8. And it appears that all Matt has left is a land and 1 other spell in hand. So he's pretty much running on empty now.
Says go. Ben untaps.
And now all of a sudden Ben is ahead in this race. Especially when you take that Inkmoth Nexus into account.
Attacks for 4. Or for 3. Knocking Matt down to 8. Ben apparently at 7 life right now. Still 4 turns for Matt to finish.
Right.
He casts a Stalker. This puts Matt on a 2-turn clock.
Doomblade. So now back to a 4-turn clock.
Now, amusingly, Matt can't cast that Timely Reinforcements for life. It's
Wow.
Timely Doomblade land. He can, however, make 3 1/1s, which is not terrible right now. But 6 life is so exciting.
It is.
Like,
I think we're going to see him cast it for 1/1s here, mostly because Ben's going to be at 5, facing down 5 power then. And with the
I don't know. The way he's thinking about it, I'm not sure. Attack.
Well, that part's easy. Attack
Okay.
for 2.
Down to 5. Land. Go.
Wow.
He wants the 6 life.
He does. I'm not sure.
I don't like
agree.
that.
Yeah, I don't agree.
You are the beatdown right now. You are the beatdown.
Ooh, Edge champion. Says, okay, I don't care.
And we're going to see a Doomblade, I believe, on the Glinthawk idol.
I have to imagine.
Now, I'm going to, or
Wow.
not. End of turn.
This is wild. I'm not sure why
that
Matt
was
took
end
that
of your
damage.
turn-itis. Oh, he wanted the damage so he could gain life.
Okay,
Okay.
But he attacked.
Oops.
He made the mistake of attacking first. A really easy mistake to do with timely reinforcements. I've done it myself.
Yeah.
Because you're taught to just always attack first. But he's going to realize the error of his ways.
And he
right
takes
here.
it. Oh, yeah.
Oh. 3 soldiers. Oops. It's okay, though, because he still has 5 power, facing down an opponent with only 3 life.
You know, you can change roles that are not the same thing as your defined strategic archetype. I would recommend, if you want to read an old article of mine, check out The Strategic Moment. It's about things like this, and about what you need to do in order to not do what Matt has been doing this game.
Yeah. Matt has just not really been on the right plan. Well, for a while there, he was being aggressive.
There was nothing wrong with him being aggressive.
Right, I like
but
that.
he needs to actually realize that those cards in his hand that are making him aggressive mean he should be aggressive. He should have cast that timely reinforcements, 2 turns ago?
Yep.
And then with this, he should have waited until he had already cast the timely before attacking. You know, it's just those little things that make a huge difference. And right now, I think he's a turn from dying.
Yeah, Matt just went to 2 life. And Ben has a dispatch. He's going to upkeep, tap that cat token.
There's a negate.
Negate.
But he's got an Inky to block.
He does. This needs to be a Doomblade. Or something like that.
Oh!
Wow. He had an Invisible Stalker he could have played too. So Ben chose to play around Day of Judgment, which I think
is correct. Yeah.
He made the right play, but Matt got very lucky and
Okay.
drew the Doomblade.
Now, as we were saying before about perfect play, you can make perfect play and lose, or you can make play that is fairly questionable and win.
Right.
He needed, though, to draw that, I believe, second Doomblade out of 4 after sideboarding.
Right.
But he absolutely had no other draws that would save his life there. Incorrect. He could draw one of his Snapcasters. He had 2 different cards he could draw.
Right.
I think he had, 2 and 3? He had 5 outs.
He did.
But he didn't have to have 5
Ghost
outs.
Quarters as well. 8 outs.
8 outs.
Yeah, it's-
But he didn't have to have 8 outs. He could have had 14 outs
Yeah.
or 16 outs.
Yeah, I don't really like the way Matt played that game, but we're going to game 3. Let's see if he's learned any lessons from the first 2. But Ben, to his credit, actually, after looking at it, at first I agreed with Ben on not playing that Stalker, but if Matt had had a Day of Judgment, he would have cast it earlier. So maybe on the flip side, it was right to play that Stalker.
I'm still not sure about that.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
That's a hard call. That's
What
a
would
really
you guys
hard
have
call.
done?
Yeah, let us know. Would you have laid the Invisible Stalker there at the end, or would you have not? I mean, because basically he puts himself in a position where
So the players.
Now, Glenn Jones seems to clearly think that was a punt. I'm not so sure. I mean, the way a game plays out in one instance is very different than, like, the way it plays out overall, right? Like,
Yeah, basically, the way that Ben
many-
played it,
Go ahead.
Matt had 8 outs, just like we were talking about. 3 Ghost Quarters, 3 Snapcasters, 2 Snapcasters, and 2 Doomblades.
Mhm.
So 7. 7 outs. The way that Glenn would have liked to have played it, playing the Invisible Stalker left him with only Day of Judgment.
So there are actually less outs from that.
I guess so. It's
Yeah.
sort of not really intuitive, but we forgot about the Ghost Quarters.
The Ghost Quarters make a big difference.
Yeah. Matt also could have drawn Gideon Jura.
Yeah. And actually, Gideon Jura doesn't count because Gideon Jura it
Works
works
either
both
way,
ways. Yeah,
right.
there's no uniqueness there.
True. But wow, so Matt's sideboard plan clearly includes both negates, which I'm not so sure I like.
Well, I understand the rationale, right?
Right.
If you think that Mana Leak might be a card that'll be dead at a certain point in the game, Negate will always stop an equipment.
Yes.
I just don't know that that's the plan you want to be going down at all because, you know, there are going to be the draws where the equipment aren't out, for one. And then you have this negate in your hand, and meanwhile, there's like an etched champion or something attacking you.
Yeah, exactly. Negate does not stop an etch champion. But if Ben can resolve his Invisible Stalker, just like that game when Matt was holding Mana Leak, or rather the negate instead of the Mana Leak, that's not good. He definitely would have rather had the Mana Leak there. And if you notice, Ben ended that game with 4 lands in play. So.
Now, the thing about this is that Matt put Ben in a position to win there. Ben had no business being in a position to win. If Matt had gone a different path, like ever so slightly on several different calls, Ben wouldn't have even had the chance.
Right. But he did end up taking that game, and now we're in game 3. Ben will be on the play, which should be a huge deal in this matchup, making Dave Judgment 1 turn slower, letting him get his Pure Steel Paladin online with no Mana Leak available. He'll only have Doomblade to answer that if he has the Paladin on turn 2. How about Karn Liberated? Do you think he sided that one in? For his long game strategy with the negates?
I mean, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I don't like the counterspell strategy. He clearly kept the counterspells in, but the opposing deck has real problems with the Karn. I don't have a problem with one long game card like that.
So turn 1 Vault Scourge gets in for 1, and turn 2 Dagger. That's gonna be some
daggers
damage real quick. And that Doomblade staring at Matt is not going to do it.
Vault Scourge is so clever. It does not like to be Doombladed or go for the Throated.
That's true.
Let's pick up this Dagger. How do you feel about that? Divine Offering.
The 1 Divine Offering gets him.
Oh my goodness.
And he'll gain 2.
Another dagger. Daggers.
Wow, the 1 offering.
I run 1 Divine Offering in my blue-white control deck too. It's awesome whenever you get to do something like that.
Yeah. So now Vault Scourge comes out and picks up a dagger.
Let's see if any of that mattered. Day of Judgment.
He does have a Day of Judgment. He probably will have to just day this one creature unless he has
he might have something
an
else.
Oblivion
Pristine
Ring.
Talisman,
Yep.
O-Rings, just fine.
And then ships the turn back. A Pure Steel Paladin is drawn a little late. Can't even cast it. This is not a good draw for Ben.
Oh, land go.
There's a plane.
There's a land. Says
and
go.
wisely waits on the Paladin. He knows that he needs to resolve a Piston Sledge so he can draw a card as well. And also this lets him make a Moorland Haunt token, which gets pretty fearsome pretty quick. Negate is drawn.
Negate.
Not at its best right now.
Go. End of the turn, make a token. Give me a spirit.
And the judge gets him a spirit token. And that'll hop into play, and Ben will draw Seachrome Coast. So 1 step closer to the Paladin playing equipment in the same turn line.
Equips a dagger. Equips a dagger.
Oh boy.
Rawr.
Ouch.
How much damage is that?
That's 5 damage. That is not a human.
And Seachrome Coast, go. Wow.
3 more cats come out to play. Those will be taking chunks out of Ben's life total. And Matt pretty firmly in control of this game with a Doomblade in hand and 6 power on the board.
I mean, he's basically just flashed out a Primeval, or not a Primeval, he's flashed out a Titan.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's 6 power, 6 mana.
Exactly. When you look at it that way, White Sun Zenith seems pretty good.
White Sun Zenith is very good on every level that's not 3 mana and 4 mana.
Yeah, it is. Late game, it's just auto win. And here it's just fine. And Doomblade's main phase. and draws Glint Hawk. And here comes the Paladin.
Paladin.
So by forcing Matt's hand with that Doomblade, Ben's going to get to draw quite a few extra cards here.
Draw a card. He's got a negate.
Can't imagine he wouldn't use it here. I don't know what better targets Ben has.
There you go.
There we go. There's the negate, and Ben ships it. He's going to have a big turn next turn. That's for sure.
Dissipate. Drawn.
Wow.
In for 6. Ben takes it.
That's a good draw. Ben drops to 5 life, I believe.
He's almost dead.
Yeah. So Piston Sledge playing around Mana Leaf
Dissipate.
will be dissipated. And now he'll have to cast Glint Hawk, replaying the dagger.
Daggers.
Drawing a card. Flare Husk would be nice.
What was it?
Don't know. Doesn't look like it was a 1-drop, though. So Ben is definitely not out of this game. He has 2 Moorland Haunts.
He's in real trouble.
He's in trouble, but he's not out. Matt holding 3 Day of Judgments right now.
Ben's going to have to throw away some cards here. The best thing here, I think, is to block. And then you have your Moorland Haunts to pick up daggers to block more stuff.
Definitely.
If you only block with one thing, you're going down to 1 life.
Yeah,
that is not acceptable.
It all depends on the card he drew, which we don't know what it is. If it's a Mortar Pod or something like that, I can understand not blocking. But any other... Okay. So it does end up blocking.
There we go. Now he has a nice little window.
Likely the right play. And all those Day of Judgments do not deal with Moorland Haunt.
Now he...
Stalker.
Makes a token.
Yep.
Equips a token.
Yep. He says, if you have a removal spell, I'm dead. Does this all main phase?
Nope, he's not dead.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's still at 3 life. You are right.
Attack.
Block.
Boing.
Instantly blocked.
Look at how much damage that White Sun Zenith did.
Yeah, it did. That did 14 damage.
And just how much it did to the board.
Yeah, and traded with 2 actual cards and a token.
There's a reason that I run 4 White Sun Zenith in my blue-white control deck.
Yeah, it's very good. Yep, Glint Hawk Idol's fine.
Day of Judgment does not look exciting against these guys.
It doesn't.
And we have another Spirit.
3 Day of Judgment and a Timely Reinforcements in play. Or in his hand, rather. So Ben trying to crawl out of the hole that he was put in by that White Sun Zenith.
You know what he would really love right now, I think? He's got that Invisible Stalker, right?
Right.
Where's the Butcher's Cleaver?
Oh, a great question. So gets in there with everybody.
Oh, here they come. Take 7?
7 you. Bringing Matt to 9 and finishes off with a Vault Scourge,
did he
going
just...
to 1.
I don't like that.
That's brave.
Now we're going to definitely see a day.
Yeah, I think he has to day there. He can't cast Timely because that Vault Scourge just picks up +4/+0 and switches the life totals around.
Especially when he's got extra days lying around.
Right.
He's just
not sure what he's thinking
day it
about
up.
here. And there it is. Day of
There's
Judgment.
the first day. On the first day of Judgment.
Then Isgar lost his guys. And Matt doesn't have any other options but to say go. Is he going to cast time? Okay.
Oh, he's got the double Ghost Quarter for the Moorland Haunts.
Pretty good. Moorland Haunts definitely did their job.
Plains. The Plains.
And now, Ben Isgar threatening a 2-turn clock on Matt. Matt has 1 draw phase to draw an answer, but we've said that before.
I can't see what he drew there.
Looks like Mox Opal.
Okay. That activates his guy.
Oh, and Dispatch.
Invisible Stalker.
Okay.
Goes equip to his.
Smart that he played his Stalker first, playing around Mana Leak there.
Knocks Matt to a very small number. However, that Stalker means that Timely Reinforcements can make 3 guys.
And that's the game. He does not draw an answer. Sitting there with 2 Dave Judgments and a Timely Reinforcements, they don't do anything against Glinthawk Idol.
Now the thing is that Timely Reinforcements does not make Matt gain life.
Right.
So he's still dead.
Yeah, he's dead on board right now.
Okay, there's the day for that. Now what's he going to do about the flyer?
He'll
Is it over? Is it over? Does he have anything?
As long as Ben remembers to attack.
He's not sure.
Oh,
he's not sure.
He's thinking about it. Activate.
Activate.
Equip.
Maybe I'll just go with just this.
Ooh.
That would it? I'll do it again. I'll do it.
Well,
Double equip.
What could he have? Attack. And there's the hand. There's the hand. And Isgar wins a very tight game. Wins at 1 life. Comes back from 1 to win. Very impressive.
And Glenn Jones looked like practically a soccer mom here on the side of the field, cheering on, her young child.
He was on death's door when Ben was at 1 life.
You should have seen him earlier. It was when it was almost the stricken look of a parent whose child was laying on the ground, having been kicked by the bigger kids.
Slide tackle, perhaps. SCG Live is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and in case you haven't heard, you can now qualify for StarCityGames.com Invitational through the IQs, the Invitational Qualifiers. They're being held at your local game store. Whether you're a player looking for an IQ near you or a store owner interested in hosting one of these exciting events, you can learn more by emailing scgiq at starcitygames.com or visiting starcitygames.com/IQ. So, if you're just joining us now, I'm Zach Hall, and
I'm Adrian Sullivan.
And we are just finishing up round 5 of the Star City Open Atlanta. First stop of the 2012 circuit.